It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to the Science Bowl, the science game show here in the Prince George's Schools, where we test science literacy and science IQs. Play along with us today and test your own. 2 great middle schools here today. Let's meet them. Right now from Charles Carroll Middle School, would you please say hello to Brittany Cabrera, Brian Diaz, and Taina Davis. And from Kettering Middle School, say hello please to Effie Awarobiga, Daniela Nat Davies, and Bill Asogba. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing, and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's science potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
And here on the Science Bowl, our game board is arranged according to the difficulty level of the questions. On the opposite side here, 5 and 10-point questions, they're the easier ones. 15, 20, 25, they get increasingly more difficult. 25, the toughest of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece, no penalties ever for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds, say one of these 2 good-looking teams will come back to play our game again and perhaps become the 3rd of our 4 semifinalists in this year's middle school competition, joining Walker Mill and Benjamin Tasker. Let's go over and make sure everything works properly. Brian, would you try your buzzer? Thank you, young man. Good luck to you and to Taina and to Brittany. And the green team, Daniela, would you try yours? All right, it too seems A-OK. Good luck to you, to Effie, and to Dan, and to Bill. Congratulations, guys. You're here representing your schools. You're ambassadors for your schools. You can't lose. You've won just by being here. Let's have a good game. May the better team win. C comes before K, since we go alphabetically. Charles Carroll, Brian, let's play the bowl.
Let's get body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, there are 2 kinds of pneumonia. There's viral pneumonia that you can get if you have the flu or a cold, and then there is pneumococcal pneumonia that you get not from a virus, but from one of these. Charles Carroll. What you got?
Bite. A bite.
Not a bite. Good try. There is viral pneumonia, and then there is this kind of pneumonia, pneumococcal, which is caused not by a virus, but by this. Breast cancer is a bacteria. A bacteria. Go again, please, Red.
Zoo parade for 10.
Zoo parade, 10 points. All right, teams. You know, if something is very troubling to you and you want to get rid of it, maybe someone who is addicted to drugs, you're said to want to get this primate off your back. Brian.
A pain off your back.
What's that?
Pain off your back.
No. Remember the category, zoo parade. You want to get this primate off your back if you're trying to get rid of something that is bothering you a lot. It's a phrase called the monkey on your back. Get rid of the monkey on your back. Go again, Red.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, the chemical with the formula NaHCO3 is sodium bicarbonate. We know it better, especially if we cook, as bicarbonate of what? Or baking what? Kettering?
Soda.
Soda. That's it. Yeah, we got a cookie cooker over there, so he should know that. Go, Kettering. Yes, ma'am.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. All right, teams. You know, if you didn't know any better, you might think this movie, which is a remake, is all about astronomy. But Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga are in this movie called A Blank is Born.
A Star is Born.
What's got, Brittany?
Star is Born.
Star is Born, absolutely right. A star. Go, Red.
Green things for 10.
Green things, 10 points. Question is as follows. Teams, herbalism, Herbalism, herbalism is not about plants that add flavor to foods. No, herbalism is about plants that do this. Kettering.
Oh, heal.
Heal, absolutely right. They're medical plants. Nicely done. Go green.
Zuparade for 5.
Zuparade for 5 points is a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, if you would, please. Meet Flash. Flash is in Zootopia. He's the slowest moving mammal there. Brian?
A sloth.
He's a sloth. Ha, ha, ha. Go red.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. All right, teams, there's a commercial on television that shows two wildebeest, and they are about to begin this massive movement from one place. Charles Carroll. Tyann has an idea.
Migrating?
Migration, yeah, they're ready to migrate to places where the grass is greener and more nutritious. 75-75. We got a tie score. Advantage. Go red.
Body systems for 10.
Body system for 10 points. Teams, some scientists now say that char could join umami, bitter, sour, sweet, and salty as our 6. Kettering.
Taste.
Taste, our 6 basic tastes. Used to be just 4. Then soy sauce came along. That's the umami one. And char is that taste after you grill outside. Go green.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. All right, teams, your question is as follows. This is very strange. A woman came into a doctor and he determined that she had broken her incus bone. Yes, Charles Carroll. What you got?
Shoulder?
What?
Shoulder?
Not shoulder, no. Kettering. This woman had broken her incus bone, also known as the anvil bone, which explained why this woman was hard of what?
Hearing.
Hearing, exactly right. That's one of those tiny little middle ear bones in there. Go green. And we'll get those points assigned to the Kettering team for having answered that correctly.
Science potpourri for 20.
Again, please.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. All right, here's your question. If you work in a science lab and you're scientists, you know that BP stands for boiling point. Well, FP and MP, Charles Carroll,
Freezing point and melting point?
you got that right. They are always the same identical temperature. Thank you, Brittany, for your help on that. You're up to 95, 105, go red.
On green things for 25.
Green things for 25, big one in that category, teams. It was back in 1841 that a 12-year-old boy took a stick and he, yes.
Popsicles?
What's that?
Popsicles?
Popsicles?
It's green
Oh, what?
things. It's not popsicle.
Can I say Brittany?
You certainly.
Hey,
What do you want to tell me, Brittany?
That he created the popsicles.
No, he did.
No. Kettering, in 1841, there was a 12-year-old boy, and he took a stick and he artificially pollinated a vanilla orchid. What he did was he took that stick, there was pollen on it, and he rubbed it against this part of the female part of the plant, above the top, atop the pistil. What is that part atop the pistil where the pollen is received?
Stella?
Say it.
Stella?
No, the stigma. The stigma was the right answer. Good try. Oh, the buzzer is rung. That means our first round is over. It's a good game. Look how close. Charles Carroll, 95, Kettering, 105. We'll be back with round 2 in just one moment. Don't go away. And welcome back to Science Bowl. Thank you for spending part of your day with us here. Yes, we said these were 2 outstanding middle schools, and are they ever? That score testifies to that. Let's go over and meet the team players before we ask any more science questions. Let's go to Charles Carroll. Brian, tell us about Charles Carroll. Where is it?
I don't know, somewhere like a New Carrollton?
New Carrollton, that's right. That's the Carroll part of it. You got that right. Who's your principal there?
Mr. Hendershot, yeah.
That's Mr. Hendershot, indeed. And who's the coach of your team?
Ms. Chaudhry.
Yes, and Ms. Chaudhry. She's been involved now for the past couple of years, and we thank her so much because we hadn't seen Charles Carroll in many, many years, and we've been 33 years on the air here. Brian, this is your 3rd trip here. Yeah, and you're a good player. Why do you come back?
Sometimes I get forced.
What's that?
I get forced sometimes.
You get points. You certainly do, and I know you're going to get some more in the second half here. Are there any alternates on your team?
Yes, we have 3. I believe it's Jesus, Luz, and Daniel.
Wonderful. And they'll be out in just a few moments' time with Miss Chaudhary so we can all see them. Tell me something about your school that you think everybody should know, something you like to brag about.
We have a biology program that my teacher says that not a bunch of schools in PGCPS have, so I'm
Yes.
pretty proud of that.
Absolutely right. Yeah, biology. Oftentimes you wait until high school to get to that, so
Yeah.
you're getting a big leg up on that. Tell me what you want to do someday.
Well, I wanted to be a psychologist, like mostly in the criminal field.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be good at that, I can tell. And when you were here before, what schools did you play for?
Cooper Lane.
Cooper Lane, yeah. So here you are. You're moving up in the world. Tiana, nice to have you here for the first time. Tell us about yourself. I know you like to read.
I do like to read,
Yeah.
mostly chapter books, and sometimes I do sports other than softball, like soccer.
Yeah, you were telling me you play on a softball team in your season. You did okay this year, right?
Yeah.
You did okay. What do you want to do when you get older?
Mostly be a veterinarian or a pet surgeon.
Do you have pets at home?
Yes, I have a lot.
A lot.
Okay.
Tell us about them. What do you got?
I have a dog named Buster. I used to have a fish named Flakers. I have a turtle who's hibernating named Sheldon.
You got a zoo. You got a zoo at home there. Well, they're lucky to have you. You're getting good practice when you get to be a vet and you hang out your shingle. Brittany, nice to have you with us today. Tell us about yourself. What do you want to do someday?
I'm undecided.
Undecided, but I know you want to go to college. And what do you do in your spare time?
Mostly just read or dance around in my room.
That sounds like normal stuff to me. And what kind of books do you like?
I like any type of book.
Any kind of book. Yeah, we were talking about you're an omnivorous reader. Any kind of book, throw it Brittany's way. Nice to have you here. Kettering, nice to have you here too. Daniela, welcome to the show. Our captain, tell us about your school. It is in Kettering, and who is your principal?
Miss Dunn.
Miss Dunn, and she's new this year, and she is a principal of renown. She was the county's outstanding principal with the Washington Post. She was the teacher of the year at one time, and we can't thank Denise enough for getting Kettering back into our competition. Daniela, tell us about any alternates on your team, because I know you got a lot of them, and you can help her out if she forgets any.
So we have Trabuzzi, Marilyn, Estella, Bill. Wait, no, Bill's right here. And then we have Derek. I already said her. Yeah. That's
Yeah, so we'll meet all of them. They're all wearing those matching blue shirts, those T-shirts that look so nice.
Oh, and we have Nawa.
What's that?
And we have Nawa.
Oh, yeah, because you better say all those names, because they're
Yep.
going to get you if you don't. Tell me something about Kettering that's really special.
Well, we have a lot of lots of friends and lots of people. We work well together.
Boy, that's so important. And you're illustrating that. You guys work really well together. You're finishing each other's thoughts, and life is about friendship. You've got good friends there, that says it all. What do you want to do when you get older?
I want to be a real estate agent or do any type of business.
Yeah, that's right. You were telling me about that maybe real estate, huh? Yeah. Effie, nice to have you back again. You were here with the Perrywood School, and now here you are, grown up, you're in middle school. Why did you come back?
Well, so I wanted to redeem myself from this other science. Well, we did well in elementary school, but I think we could do better by
You want
winning.
that championship, don't you?
Yeah.
I can see that on your face. Yeah. Tell me what you do in your spare time.
I like to read or dance, and I like tutoring kids younger than me.
Yeah. And you participate in dance competitions, don't you? You do
Yeah.
hip hop, and what else do you do?
Afro jazz
Yeah.
and regular jazz.
That's good. Good exercise too. Bill, tell us the Bill story. What do you do in your spare time?
For the most part, I play the flute.
Oh,
I watch YouTube, read books.
yeah. Good
That's-
kid stuff. How long you played the flute?
4 years.
4 years. Is there an orchestra or a band at Kettering
Yeah,
that you
there's an
participate in?
orchestra and band.
That's great. And Bill told me that he wants to be a pastry chef one day, and he didn't bring any cookies today. You're still refining your art, right? Yeah, you'll be a good one. Let's get back into that game. 105 for Kettering, 95 for Charles. Carroll, last correct answer came from Brian. So lots of points left. Let's go.
Dateline Science for 25.
Dateline Science for? 25. Big one in that category. Teams, Leon Letterman won a Nobel Prize in physics, but he gave a wry smile to himself when he was pulled over and he got a speeding ticket because he said, that radar gun that he used was the same kind of radar that I invented that they use on TV for weather maps as well. What kind of radar was it, Brian?
Doppler radar?
Doppler, yeah, he invented Doppler radar, and here he's the victim of it. He got him going 50 in a 25-mile zone. Go, Rit.
Let's get physical for 10.
It's got physical for 10 points. All right, teams. Bill probably knows this, there is condensed milk and there is condensed evaporated milk that you can cook with. Evaporated milk is unsweetened. Condensed milk has sugar added. Both of them have what substance removed from them, Kettering?
Water.
Water, absolutely right. That was the key thing. You heard evaporated in there. Go green. Nice. 5 points behind.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline science for 15 points. Teams, there was a Hungarian surgeon by the name of Ignaz Semmelweis who people vilified. They actually put him in an asylum because he said before and after an operation, a surgeon should do this to keep from disease spreading.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Today we think, of course, but back then they didn't realize that was a source of so much contamination. Thank you, Effie, for your help. Go, Daniela.
Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade, 15 points. There is yet another movie with this title about an alien killer from outer space that hunts human beings, Kettering.
Predator?
Predator, yeah, it's called The Predator. Yeah, we all know how it turns out, but we keep going back. Go green.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points is a multiple choice question. Teams, if you take a seed or a bulb and you put it in a cold environment so that it will bloom and bear fruit earlier than it normally would, is that called vernalization, patronization, or sensitization? Which of those three? Vernalize, patronize, sensitize. Kettering.
Vernalize?
Vernalize, absolutely right. Good answer. Vernalize comes from vernal, which means spring. So you're creating an artificial spring. Go green.
Green things for 20.
Green things, 20 points. All right, every year people wonder, they ask, what does it? Those leaves start to change color in the fall when this environmental factor, Kettering? What do you want to tell me?
Temperature?
Temperature? No. Charles Carroll, what environmental factor decreases? And that is the signal to the tree to start changing color and dropping the leaves. What you got?
Humidity.
Sunlight. Less sunlight. The days get shorter. The trees sense that. Go again, green. 160 to 140. You have a 40-point lead, Danielle.
Daylight science for 10.
Dateline for 10. 1816 was said to be the year without what season? Because Mount Tambora had erupted and filled the skies with ash and soot. Kettering?
Summer?
Summer. It was the year without summer. Absolutely right. It rained all the time. Temperatures were very cool because they literally, all of that volcanic erupting material blocked the sun. Go again, green. Come on, red. Let's get back in here.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. All right, teams. Eating fermented berries sometimes causes birds to become intoxicated because the sugar in the berries is turned into what substance? What substance? Come on, Brian.
Alcohol.
Alcohol, absolutely right. The birds are drunk. Go red. Go red.
Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical for 25. Big one in that category, teams. We know that the moon goes through phases during the month. And when it goes through phases, you either have a waxing moon or a waning moon. A waxing moon continues to get brighter and brighter until it becomes a full moon. A waning moon...
It decreases. It decreases.
More information.
It gets smaller. Yeah,
And?
smaller.
And it covers less space of the moon.
It shows less of the moon.
Yeah, it shows less.
You're so close, you're so close. Kettering, that waxing moon gets bigger and bigger until it becomes a full moon. The waning moon gets smaller and smaller and smaller, dimmer and dimmer, until it becomes what moon?
A new moon?
A new moon, that's what it's called. Good, good comeback. Go green.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25, big one in that category. Teams, on a recent episode of MacGyver, MacGyver's sidekick was hit. He goes, oh, I was hit in my clavicle. MacGyver says, that's okay.
Ribs.
No. I know you're trying to get points, but let me finish. Kettering, MacGyver's sidekick said, oh, I got hit in the clavicle. And MacGyver says, that's not your clavicle. Your clavicle is up here, which is another bone known as what bone? The clavicle is otherwise known as what for 25 points?
Yeah, go ahead. Just go ahead. Shoulder?
Collarbone. Collarbone. Go again, green.
Let's get physical for 20 points.
Let's get physical for 20. All right, teams. Bronze is a metal that is an alloy made of two chemical elements with the symbols Cu and Zn. Name them both. Charles Carroll.
Serenium and zinc.
Got one. Kettering. Cu and Zn are the two chemical elements that are alloyed together to make the metal bronze.
Compranium.
Say it again.
Compranium. Pass the bill.
Copernicum and zinc.
You're trying too hard. It's copper. Copper and zinc. Try again, green.
Zuperate for 25.
Zuprate for 25 points. Big one in that category, teams, is as follows. As smart as an octopus is, it has very little of this C-initialed gray matter that we have a lot of in our own brains. What C-initialed gray matter is not in great abundance in an octopus, but we have a lot of it. Talk among yourselves in case I have to come to you. 25 points on the line here.
Carbon.
Come on, Kettering, what you got?
Carbon.
Not carbon. Nope. Charles Carroll, what you got?
Cells. Brain cells.
Not brain cells. It's called cortex. You might have said cerebrum or cerebellum. That is the gray matter. Tough question. All right, we're almost out of points here. If you're going to do it, Charles Carroll, you got to do it now. Daniela, you pick.
Science potpourri for 25.
Science potpourri 25. Big one in that category is a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. Teams, this beautiful snail has a shell. The shell is the same shape as a spring and a slinky and a DNA molecule. What is that shape called? Kettering for 25 points. Name that shape.
Spiral.
Give me more. Charles Carroll. A spring, a slinky, and a DNA molecule all have what same shape as this snail shell?
A helix.
A helix. That's it for 25 points. Good, go.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline science for 20 points. Teams, the worst epidemic in human history occurred in 1918 when the flu killed almost 40 million.
Black Death.
Not the Black Death. No, it was in fact the flu that killed the people back in 1918, up to 40 million, we think. Flu is short for influenza. I will give you 20 points if you can spell, Kettering, influenza. Who's going to be my speller?
Okay, pass it to Effie.
Effie, say the word for me again.
Influenza.
Influenza, yes.
INFLUENZA.
You got it. Beautifully done. All right, green, go again.
Okay, so zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points. Teams, if you're a deer hunter, a lot of times you will buy deer urine. If you buy doe, female urine, if she's in heat, and spread it on the ground, it's going to attract the attention of the male bucks. If you get male buck urine and you put it down on the ground, that buck isn't going to become looking for a mate. He's going to become looking for a what? Brian.
A fight.
Fight. Yeah, he's going to fight that other buck to see who gets to mate with the doe. Go.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, this year is unusual for oak trees. They are masting. They are making so many of these that no predator could eat them all. Kettering?
Pine cones?
Not pine cones, no. Oak trees are producing so many of these this year, they're masting, that no animal could eat them all.
Acorns.
Acorns, that's it. Yeah, thank you, Taina. Go.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, if something really motivates you, it's like getting an injection. I really want to win the Science Bowl. It's like getting a shot in the what? Charles Carroll. A shot in the what?
An arm.
Arm, that's it, like an injection. Oh, the buzzer says we have to stop this game. We're out of time. We almost used all those questions. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this game at home as much as we did here in the studio. All of these young people are fantastic. Let's give them all a round of applause. Super, super job. Our final tally today is Charles Carroll, 185, Kettering, 215, we've waited 33 years. You made the wait worth it. Effie and Daniela and Bill, and look at all the alternates back there. Nawa, wave Nawa, Chabuzi, Estelle, Marilyn, and also Miss Dunn is here. She is the wonderful principal at that school. And Miss Molina, thank you for doing it this year for the first time. Nice round of applause for Kettering. And let's see some smiles over here at Charles Carroll. You have not been here much, but boy, you have done wonders in the last 3 years. Brittany and Brian and Taina. Miss Charter, we can't thank you enough. Mr. Green is here, the vice principal for the school, and they have a shadow team back there. There is Jesus and Luce and Daniel. Congratulations to all of them as well. And our thanks to you, too, for watching Science Bowl. We hope to see you next time right here. This is Dave Zarin. Until then, bye-bye.